Hello, everyone. Welcome to Let the Lady Speak. I am SG. Welcome back. As I stated tonight, we're going to discuss why do I keep attracting the wrong type of person? Why do I keep attracting the same old, same old? We're going to discuss that tonight. I actually decided to come up with this episode because, as you know, I now have a YouTube channel. You guys check me out on YouTube at Let the Lady Speak. I'm going to start reviewing a show called Ready to Love. And Ready to Love is a dating show. I've mentioned it before in other podcast episodes, but there's a lot of tips that you can take away from there. And since I like to talk about dating, relationships, life, love, and self help and healing, I thought this would be a great show to review and just to kind of take nuggets from. Well, there's one person on the show. I watched 2 episodes last night and I did the videos. I have to edit them before I put them on YouTube, but they'll be there. There was a one lady named Alexis. And Alexis says that when men see her problem with dating is when men see her, they just see sex. It's like a sex written over her. And I'm always mindful when people say things like that because I think people oftentimes neglect or they don't know, maybe they just aren't aware of what they are putting off. And as you see her behavior unfold, you realize why people approach her from a sexual standpoint. It's because she comes across that way. And I just wanted to talk about how you may be attracting the same thing because of your behavior now, or what you're putting off, or what you're leading with. I am not shaming anyone. I do not feel like you should be able to violate a person's agency or anything like that based on what they're wearing or who they are. So we're going to take that out of this. This is not what this conversation is about. This is purely just you as a person. Sometimes we as people, we lead with certain things. We're not aware of it and we wonder why we're attracting. You know, if you put out certain foods for certain things, they're going to go for them. Like a mouse likes cheese, right? So things go after what is attractive. The flowers like sunlight. My flowers will always lead towards my sun. So, towards my window to get the sunlight. We just go towards what we are attracted to, and it's usually based off of what's being put out. So I wanted to talk about that because I know a lot of people complain about attracting the same people. Now, I'm not going to go into what I usually do, which is talk about healing. You can go to my podcast. I did a podcast on my healing process. I talked about that. I also did a couple other podcast about toxic relationships or why I keep getting in toxic relationships. And I talk about the healing process there. So I'm not going to talk about that here. I'm just going to speak to it from another perspective. So people often ask, why am I getting this type? So my question to you would be, what are you leading with? How are you leading? How are you communicating to the world? At the end of the day, how we show up and what we present, what we allow, what we don't correct, what we communicate verbally or non-verbally determines how an individual is going to react to you. That's not to say that there won't be people who will try certain things. There's going to always be a person that tries, but how do you react to these people? How do you respond? How do you carry yourself? How do you lead when you come into a room or when you interact with individuals? So that is usually the primary cause of what you're attracting, on top of where you haven't done the healing and things like that. But again, we're not going to do that portion tonight. So number one, are you leading with sex? Like I talked about Alexa, are you leading with sex? Lexi, honey, is flirting with everybody. Everything is about sex. There's a lot of sexual innuendo. She takes her coat off. She turns around. She wants you to see what she's working with. What she's communicating is that I am a sexual person and I'm sexually aggressive and I'm sexually assertive and I want you to know this is what I want. There isn't anything wrong with that if that's what you want. But if you are trying to find something serious, a person that's looking for you to get to know your mind is going to be distracted by the sex of it all, right? So she comes across very sexual. She's very touchy-feely. She's very flirtatious. And again, I'm not knocking anyone. I'm not judging. But her issue with dating is people see her in a sexual manner. She's presenting herself in a sexual manner. So my suggestion would be like, pull back a little bit. It's okay to flirt. I am a flirt, honey. I'm a flirt. I'm like that song, but I'm not gonna sing it because you know why. But I'm flirtatious too. I don't feel like there's anything with being flirtatious. I don't feel like it's anything wrong with a woman owning her sexuality. But if you want people to know that there's more to you, you need to present that there's more to you. So, but she comes across as, you know, this is what I'm about. And it's actually turning one of the guys off. One of the guys are kind of like, she's just a little bit too much. Um, she talks a lot about sex. So, like, are you talking a lot about sex? Again, is there a lot of innuendo, sexual jokes, um, how you're dressed? Now, listen, ladies and men, because there's some men who say women just want me for my body, and you walking around with gray sweatpants and no underwear on, or you never have a shirt on, and things like that. What you're doing is saying this is what I'm worth and this is what I'm about, right? And good, bad, or indifferent, whether we agree with it or not, people judge a book by its cover. It may not be right, and it definitely could not be true about you, but people do judge a book by its cover. So you have to balance it out and communicate more about yourself than the thing that you don't want people to be attracted to you about or for. Like the reasons why you want them to be attracted to you, that's what you need to present. Don't present what you are resistant to or what you're not comfortable with or what you don't want to be perceived as. So that would be my advice there. Number two, are you leading with money? So this is a big one for the fellas and now the ladies actually. So I can't say that both sexes, both genders. Um, a lot of times the guys say, it's a lot of gold diggers out here. All these women just want my money. They just want my money. But the first thing you lead with is money. The first thing you tell her is how much you make. The first thing you say is what you can do for her. There's a guy named Touchy Troy on the show. And Touchy Troy keeps talking about these vacations. I'm going to take you on these vacations. I'm going to take you on these vacations. He hasn't added any substance. He hasn't said, ask them anything really truly about them. He's just giving them these rehearsed lines, child. Ugh. But he's not offering more. You have to offer more. If all you're talking about is money, I'm Gucci down, I'm this, I'm that, and it's all about money and what you do and what you drive, and you want her to see it, and you're like, see this, you're enticing her with money. So you're going to attract a woman that just wants money because that's what you're saying you're offering. You know, I've had men tell me, I'll give you my whole paycheck. I'll just give you my paycheck every week. If I was money hungry, that's what I would go after. I'm not money hungry. So I'm not going to go after a guy who all he seems to care about himself, think of himself as a bank. You, sir, are telling me your worth is money, right? And it's a trick bag, ladies. It's a trick bag, but I'll talk about that on another episode. But you just have to be careful. There's a lot of ladies that do this too, where, especially in this day and age, a lot of us, we're independent, we have our own money, we make good money, and we don't want anyone to feel like we don't have it. So we're letting you know that we have money. Listen, ladies, again, don't lead with your money. And honestly, when you come across too assertive and aggressive in that way, and you're talking about your money, you are using your masculine energy, and I'm going to get into that later, but masculine energy attracts feminine energy, right? So stay out of that lane. He doesn't need to know anything about your money. He doesn't know what you make. He does, you can let a guy know exactly what you do, but just be careful. Be careful. Here's the thing. I talked about this in predators. Predators are always on a hunt. And there's some predators that hunt the weak and the wounded, and there's some predators that will hunt whatever. And if you're strong in this dating pool, there are some people that will seek you out to break you down. So you really, really have to be mindful of how you're leading yourself. Okay. So, like I said, when it comes down to money, don't lead with money. If you're leading with money and that's all you talk about is money, all you talk about is what you have, what you spend, how much this costs, things like that, what you're saying is my worth is my money. What I have to offer you is my money. So, if you stop saying that I am only money or I am only sex, you'll get something a little different. Your outcomes will change. Number three, you're not being yourself. Okay. So you're attracting the wrong type of person. Guys, if you could hear my stomach growling, I'm so sorry. Um, if you are not being yourself and you're being what you think this person wants you to be, then you're going to attract the wrong type because you're not being true to yourself. And this person is attracted to the person that you're presenting. However, you're not that person. And I see people do it all the time in the dating field. I see people get married and they have married a complete stranger. It's not you. If you're a homebody, say, you know what, I'm a homebody. Let that be. If you love to read, if you are adventurous person, whatever it is that's true to you and who you are, that's who you be. That's who you show up as. That's who you give to people because you want a person that loves you for you. You want a person that's attracted to you for you. That is a long lasting relationship. When it is a relationship that's built off of falseness or falsehood, will fall apart because you guys don't know each other. And then then you become resentful, then you become hateful towards one another, you become mean spirited, and you're like, why did this even happen? Because this person wasn't for you. You didn't show them who you really were. And you have to know who you are before you show that to that person. Okay. So find out who you are, then go out into the dating field and seek somebody. But don't go muting yourself or changing yourself into what you think other people want you to do. What other people want you to be. I see this a lot in men. I see it with women too, because a lot of women now are changing their appearance for that reason. But I see it a lot in men, especially when I was growing up. Some of the nicest guys, I have an affinity for nerds, right? But some of the nicest guys would get into a life that really wasn't them because they wanted to be loved and accepted. You have to love yourself. You have to accept yourself, and you put yourself as the person out there that is seeking another person. So don't change and become something else for someone else because it's going to end in a disaster. You've completely betrayed this person because you have not told them who you really are, and you betrayed yourself because you weren't true to yourself, and you have to be true to yourself before anything, right? Are you Number 4, are you leading with the wrong energy? And this gets into the masculine, feminine energy. Masculine energy attracts feminine energy. We all have masculine and feminine energy, right? So, what are you leading with? If you are a lady and you're leading with your masculine energy, you're going to attract more feminine men. You're going to attract the men who operate solely out of his feminine energy. So he is not going to be honest and direct. He is not going to plan. He's not, and I'm talking about toxic feminine energy. So I don't want, just understand that. But he's not going to plan. He's not going to direct. He's not going to lead. He's not going to establish. He's not going to do any of those things. You're going to be his mommy. He's going to sit and watch you do all the work. He's going to sit and watch you and want you to cater to him solely. He's not going to advance. He's not going to build you up. He's not going to help you with a purpose. He's not going to do any of those things. He is going to be your child man or man child. That's what's going to happen. That's what you're going to attract because a masculine man doesn't want a masculine woman. A masculine man wants a feminine woman. And ladies, listen, don't get it twisted. In a workplace, and when you need to, you bring her out. You use your masculine energy. I'm not saying get rid of it, but when you are dating and when you are seeking a partner, if you want masculine energy, if you want a masculine man, you can't be masculine because he's not going to want that. You can do that in the workplace all day long, but when you come home, you are a lady and you are a woman, not a damsel in distress, not, weak or any of those things. You are a woman, you are a lady, you are feminine. Just be that. Be soft, be nurturing, be caring, be empathetic. Listen, those type of things is what I'm referring to. But if you are so strong where if he comes to you about anything. You're super direct and you're letting him know what he can and cannot do and how this is going to go. A masculine man isn't going to deal with that. A masculine man is going to turn away. You know what he's going to do? He's going to go get himself a feminine woman and you're going to turn him off. So just be careful with what you lead. When you lead with masculinity, you get femininity. Men, same to you. If you are acting feminine, you're going to get masculine women. If you are using negative feminine traits, you are negative feminine traits. Okay. We're talking about negative feminine, negative masculine traits because I don't want to have that argument. But there are masculine feminine men get upset like, why do I keep getting these women? There was one guy on the show and he said his problem is he always ends up with mean girls and things like that. Well, here's the thing, sir. How are you presenting yourself? And just his body language, just how he carried himself, how he let people, other guys, the women he was talking to, they would just come up and take the woman away. Like there was no masculine energy there. And that's why he was treated the way he was treated. And then she called herself an alpha woman, a very alpha woman or masculine energy woman was just like, no, what are you? She's like checking him because she's trying to get him to have a conversation, but he won't have that conversation. So men, if you wonder why you keep getting very masculine women, ask yourself, what type of energy are you putting off? Are you coming across as a masculine man? Do you know your worth? Are you able to lead? Are you able to communicate? Are you able to delegate? Like how do you operate, right? So those tips are important when it comes down to that energy. And then use your energy, masculine and or feminine, at the correct time. Like I said, in the workplace, a lot of times, ladies, I know we have to be more masculine than feminine. Men, sometimes when you're dealing with your lady, you have to, I talked about this in the last episode, you have to use some of your feminine energy traits. But there's nothing wrong with that if it's done in a healthy manner. So I don't want you to think there's anything wrong with it. But when you're talking about dating and coupling up, they have to match up, be the yin to the yang. You got to be the yin to the yang. Okay, number 5, you play toxic games and you seek toxic people. Let me tell you something. This is a nerve, baby. This is a nerve for me, okay? Because I know a lot of people who say they want to change and they want different types of relationships, but they operate the way they used to. They haven't changed anything, right? So, for instance, so say you're a guy and you were in a relationship with a girl and you guys had a female and you guys had a woman, I should say. You guys had a very toxic relationship. You argued all the time. You broke up. Y'all jumping on cars, just the foolishness, right? Young stuff, Um, but you said, I'm tired of it. I want to move on. But you play those same games that you played in those relationships. Your pattern has not changed. So you haven't evaluated yourself to see what these patterns are. Your patterns haven't changed. So you're doing the same old, same old. So you're starting arguments for no reason because the excitement turns you on, say you are withholding affection and communication just to kind of control your partner. That's manipulation at its finest. I'm going to do an episode on manipulators, but it's manipulation. You're finding ways to try to control a person. You're fighting for no reason. You're withholding love and affection. You won't communicate when you need to communicate. You press that person's buttons on purpose, like you purposefully trigger that person. You cross boundaries with that person, other relationships. You try to make that person jealous. And this is one that really, really hits home with me because I had someone who they felt like I never cared about them, right? Because certain things just didn't bother me. A lot doesn't bother me, honestly. So if I say something bothers me, it really bothers me. And he said, I never showed that I was jealous. Well, why are you trying to make me jealous? No, I'm not jealous. No, because what I know and what I see, I mean, if she wants that, okay, I'm just gonna move to the side and let you be great. That's how I feel about it. But he, I get some people want to feel wanted. Just let a person show you in a healthy way that they want you and that they love you. But people, a lot of times, especially if they haven't done the work, they won't do that. And instead, it has to come across in a very toxic manner. It has to be something that can get people hurt. That is not healthy. That's not mature either. That's not how you should want to operate in your relationship. And you take so much energy dealing with the bull crap that you guys don't get ahead in life. All of that energy that you're spending on playing these mind games and fighting and trying to have crazy sex after a huge argument, which is not my thing, but a lot of people get down like that. You could have done something different with that energy. You guys could have built something different. You could have grown in another way. You guys could be on vacations. Like, it's a waste of time and life. Life is short. Trust me when I tell you, I see people my age and younger dying all the time. You don't know when tomorrow is going to be your last, whether tomorrow is going to be your last day. You don't know what tomorrow holds. You don't know. You could be in an accident and be debilitated tomorrow. Live your life. Don't waste your time and your energy on the BS. Don't waste your time and your energy on the toxicity. I made a post the other day where I said, when a person is, people. So this young lady posted on Instagram. She said that she wanted to thank her ex for moving out the way so that she can get another man or something to that effect. Here's the thing. This is what I had to say, and this is what I'll say. You don't wait for someone to make a decision about whether or not you two are going to be together. I know a lot of ladies do that. We're going to see what he says. And I've been there. I'm not judging. I have been there. And that's why I'm having this talk with you. Let's see how this goes. Let's see what he wants to do. If he wants to go to count, listen, when a person wants to do something, they're going to do it. That's just it. That's the beginning, the end, the middle. They're going to do it. If they want to do it, they would do it. The decision has already been made. He has decided not to. She has decided not to. They have decided not to commit. They have decided not to be intentional. They have decided not to do the work. They have decided not to love you properly. They have decided not to work with you to heal and to grow. They have decided not to marry you. They decided not to take this relationship to the next level. They have decided to drag you on for as long as they can so they can use you for whatever they need to use you for. Okay. That's what's been decided. So what you have to do is decide what is best for you. What is best for you? And if you have children, what's best for your children? Because everything that your children sees, they may mirror. Some children will go opposite, but 9 times out of 10, they're going to mirror, well, 80% of the time. Let's go 50. We can even go 50. 50% of the time, they're going to mirror your behavior. And do you want that for your child? Do you want your child in an abusive relationship? Do you want your child in a relationship where someone doesn't love them or doesn't show them affection or doesn't respect them or doesn't care for them? Like, is that what you want for your children? Because you're staying and showing them that is showing them that that's what you want for them and that this is okay. So you have to decide. Don't wait for someone to decide for you. This is your life. You deserve the best. You deserve the best. So you have to get the best. Don't wait for somebody to decide. Like, we can talk about it, have a conversation, but let their actions be what's telling. Their actions will tell you what they're really trying to do. They can tell you, I love you all day long, but I love you doesn't hurt like that. I love you doesn't feel lonely like that. I love you doesn't leave you wondering. I love you isn't confusion. Okay. I love you doesn't come to kill, steal, and destroy. That's not what love does. So please, please decide for yourself what you want for your life and move forward in that direction. Um, But again, number 5 was the toxic individual. So do you go for that toxic person? Some guys be like, oh, I want that girl. She's so feisty. I love a little feistiness. And then they're like, I can't. Like, like the guy on the show, he's like, oh, she's a mean girl. I get mean girls. You're picking them. You like them. Just own that you like them and try to figure out why you like them so you can do better and you can select better. And you can, when you see yourself going down that road, you can say, okay, let me wait a minute. Let me Let me redirect myself or let me do some more self work. Okay. The bottom line is we show people what we want them to see. Take the time to evaluate what you're saying to others through your actions and your language. Ask yourself the following questions. What are you leading with? So when you present yourself to the world and to people, what are you leading with? What are you tolerating? What are you tolerating? What are you allowing in your life? Are you allowing this person to come and go? Are you allowing this person not to support you? Are you allowing this person to disrespect you? Excuse me. What is it that you are allowing? What are you tolerating? I already said that. Um, what are you saying about yourself? What do you say about yourself? Are you always making excuses for being who you are? Do you have codependent tendencies where you're always trying to fix people and make people better and you're making excuses for their behavior? What are you saying about yourself? When you carry yourself, when you put yourself together, when you walk out the door, what does your body say about you? What does your look say about you? Do you look people in the eye? Do you shake hands? Do you know, command a certain amount of respect just based on your aura? What are you saying about yourself? The next one I will say is ask someone you trust what their thoughts are of you. I do this with my friends all the time, and these people who are going to be honest with you, but not try to hurt you. Ask them, when you see me, what do you see? How do you think I carry myself? I ask my friends this. I do. I ask them what they love about me. I ask them about our relationship. Every blue moon, I just have to check in, because sometimes you may not know. And it's okay not to know, but it's not okay not to seek knowledge. Seek wisdom, seek understanding. That is very, very important. And you should know you better than anyone else. A lot of times people think they're hiding themselves from people, but people see you. And I'm one of those people. I am one of those people that see people. I don't always say a lot, but I see you. So you think you're hiding from these people, but these people are seeing you. And if they are a predator, if they are a user, if they are a manipulator, if they are a vulture, if they are an emotional vampire, they're going to take advantage. They're going to take advantage. So work on yourself. I can't stress that enough. Um, then my last statement was do the work and make the corrections. Seek assistance if you need to. There's plenty of self-help books. There's plenty of things on YouTube. There are plenty of therapists and life coaches and relationship coaches and um, you know, self-help groups. Seek one out. Google any of that, and you can find help in your area, and you can just find books to read. Just find books to read. A lot of people that I've been researching has said that they started just by listening to different people, and it actually helps me. A lot of times when I'm doing research for my videos, I'll watch other videos on certain topics just to get like a perspective. Sometimes I agree, sometimes I don't, but I gain knowledge either way. um and it helps me because there are moments in time I'm like, "Oh, that's what it is." Because for example, I never knew about, the different type of attachment styles, you know, and until I did an episode. And now I'm aware of different type of attachment styles, and I'm aware of my own. So it makes me more aware when I'm dealing with people and what I need to communicate with people, you know? Because we internalize a lot. I mean, that's human nature, but you do have to be able to communicate. So, in conclusion, how you show up and you present yourself communicates to the world who you are. How you treat yourself and how you require that people treat you will determine how you will be treated by others. It all starts with you. Guys, give yourself enough credit. Give yourself credit for knowing that you can do this, you can change, you can be better, you can grow, you can learn, that you are worth love, you are worth a healthy relationship. You deserve those things. Don't ever feel like you don't. Ever. I don't care what anyone has ever told you. You deserve love. You deserve to be treated well. You deserve respect. You deserve those things. And so Make sure you acknowledge that about yourself. Give yourself credit for that. Okay. And then you will know it'll make it easier for you to no longer tolerate the BS. I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. Please make sure you follow me on IG and on YouTube and on all the podcast platforms and on all locations. I am Let the Ladies Speak. I am your host, SG. I love you, and I want you to love you for who you are. Thank you for letting me speak. Have a great night. Bye bye.